Welcome back to Motip. Today we're covering a heartbreaking case that gripped St. Johns County, Florida. On May 9th, 2021, 13-year-old Tristan Bailey, a beloved middle school cheerleader, tragically lost her life. She was murdered by her 14-year-old schoolmate, Aiden Fucci, in a shocking incident that unfolded on Mother's Day. Tristan Tyne Bailey was born in Singapore on January 18, 2008 to Forrest and Stacey Bailey. She was the youngest of 5 children. Tristan spent her first 4 years in Singapore. Tristan grew up and lived in St. Johns County, Florida. She was in 7th grade at Patriot Oaks Academy. At 9 a.m. May 9, 2021, the Bailey family was preparing to celebrate Mother's Day. One of Bailey's siblings went to her room to wake her up and discovered that Bailey was missing. After a short search of the immediate surrounding area, her mother, Stacey, called 911 to report her daughter missing. Early that morning, according to police reports, Dofis Trey Abshir, a friend of Fucci, said that Fucci had asked him for Bailey's phone number. Fucci called Bailey and convinced her to leave home to see a friend. At 1:45 a.m., a residential surveillance camera recorded 2 people walking east on Saddlestone Drive, strongly believed to be Fucci and Bailey. Tragically, Bailey's body was discovered later that day in a nearby wooded area, bearing 114 stab wounds, 49 of which were defensive. Her body was found with the word karma written on the inside of her left ankle and a smiley face drawn on her right ankle, but it is not known who wrote it. Surveillance footage from around 1:45 a.m. showed Tristan walking with Aiden Fucci, followed by footage of Fucci running alone. Around midnight, May 10th, police visited Fucci's house to look for evidence. In his room, they found a sheath that matched the knife found near Bailey's body and clothing with blood on it. Around 3 a.m., Fucci was arrested for second-degree murder, but this was changed to first-degree murder after further examination of evidence and witness accounts. During a press conference on May 27th, State Attorney R.J. Larizza said Fucci told his friends he was going to kill someone by taking them to the woods and stabbing them. Larizza also stated Fucci told his friends to expect the murder to happen within a month and that Bailey was stabbed 114 times. Fucci was subsequently transferred to Duval County Jail, where he was held without bond. His mother, Crystal Smith, was arrested for tampering with evidence after allegedly washing blood off Fucci's jeans, but was later released. A police report released by the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office in July 2021 revealed that Fucci often spoke of his fantasy of killing people, that he often carried a knife with him, and that he planned to drag a random person into the woods and stab them. Fucci's ex-girlfriend, Sophie Baumann, said that on occasion Fucci would take his knife out and pretend to stab her with it. Baumann also said that Fucci claimed to hear voices in his head when he was angry. Fucci was charged as an adult and pleaded guilty to the first-degree murder of Bailey. He was given a maximum sentence of life in prison on March 24, 2023, at age 16. After 25 years of incarceration, his case will be reviewed. During the impact statements at the trial, one of Tristan's siblings, Alexis, dropped 114 Aquastone hearts into a glass jar, one by one, to represent the stab wounds her sister endured.
114. This jar now holds 114 stones, one for each of the 114 stab wounds that my sister had to endure. It was 1 hour and 42 minutes between when my sister was last seen and when Aiden Fucci was next seen, running out of the woods holding his shoes because his feet hurt. It's funny that such a simple statement can bring such anger. Aiden Fucci could show compassion for his sore feet, yet had nothing to leave for my beautiful sister. The number of questions I have for Aiden Fucci surrounding that night plague my mind. Did she see you coming at her with the knife? Or did you stab her while she wasn't paying attention? Did she scream out for help? Or was she paralyzed with agony? Did she cry for my mother? Did she beg you to stop? Did you hear her lungs gargling with blood? Or did you see it in her face when she realized she could no longer breathe due to her collapsed lungs? What were her last words? Did you stay to watch her die? Or did you leave her there in agonizing pain as you ran away? How long did she suffer? Did you watch the life leave her eyes? Do you know the answer to any of these questions, or were you too caught up in the thrill of the kill? The last time I heard my sister's voice was May 8th, 2021. I have racked my brains trying to remember the last words she said to me. Was it "I love you"? Was it goodbye? Or did we say nothing at all? What I do remember is her walking out that door. I have nightmares about that moment. In my dreams, I try to reach out and grab her, beg her to spend the night, anything to prevent what happened just hours later, yet every time the door closes before I can get to her. The memories of May 9th will forever be ingrained in my mind, body, and soul. To know I was awake and only 11 minutes away from my sister as she was being brutally murdered. Could I have saved her? I remember the vivid feelings of my body collapsing on the ground as the police informed us that they had found a body. Then, finding out hours later it was Tristan's body, I remember becoming physically ill and having a detective grip my hair as my body uncontrollably expelled everything from my stomach between my sobs. The pain I felt in every nerve as I watched my dad lying on the floor, screaming in a way no human should ever be able to produce. Our family broke that day, and I don't recognize any of us anymore. I have watched my parents going from believing that they were good parents to believing they were failures. I have listened to my parents question, what did we do wrong? What kind of mother or father was I not to protect my child? I have watched them overanalyze every conversation, every action, trying to figure out what they could have done differently. I've watched my older sister, Brittany, become unrecognizable with anger. I've watched my brother, Tegan, emotionally shut down and avoid the family due to the pain being home causes. I've watched my younger sister, Sophia, completely lose her childhood and be cast into the role of being a parent and being the resident therapist for my mother. I've seen the changes in myself, the responsibilities and burden that I have had to undertake because of the actions of Aiden Fucci. I am the one who had the responsibility of speaking with the funeral home and forcing my parents to decide which urn to put what remained of Tristan in. I was the one who had to pick her up from the funeral home and make that long drive home with her ashes. I have what remains of her beautiful blonde hair, now stained red, sitting in my house, haunting me daily. I have had to become the safe place for my parents and hold space for their feelings. I have had to commit every detail of Tristan's murder to memory so that whenever someone has a question, they need only ask and not be burdened with looking up the answers themselves through the hundreds of pages of court documents and police records. I bear the thoughts that one day the trauma we have all been through because of the actions of Aiden Fucci will cost the lives of my other family members. I have been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. I have been unable to work at times during this process due to the trauma and PTSD attacks triggered by knives, blood, and open wounds. My relationships have suffered. My physical and mental health has diminished, and my goals for the future have seemingly disappeared. Aiden Fucci didn't just take Tristan's life that day. He took everything from us. Our family, sense of security, laughs, health, and potential. For us, justice does not exist in this case, and closure does not exist in this case. Peace, understanding, and forgiveness will never come. The duty of this court today is to determine and weigh all the factors in this case, to decide the just sentence for the crimes Aiden Fucci committed, with retribution and potential rehabilitation sadly being considered. The only justifiable sentence in this case is a full life sentence. Anything short of that would be an insult to not only our justice system and community, but to our family and Tristan's legacy. Lastly, I would like to add my own stone to the 114 that I added for Tristan. This white stone represents my trust in people, which died the day that Aiden Fucci chose to kill my sister. Thank you for your time.
The jar stayed there for each family member while they read their statements. Each concluded by adding a white stone to represent something related to Bailey's death. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe.